The early part of the second half invited some pressure. Declan Rice took full advantage of that after some poor defending. And you know what? The goals were there for us today. We had shots, we had openings. We did not take advantage of those opportunities, and we go away with nothing. Very disappointing, and I think we want to see that offside decision at the end again when we get back to the studio, because that was very, very tight.
Well, just a second win in the last 22 Premier League fixtures for West Ham against Arsenal. But as you can see and hear, it is the West Ham supporters that are singing at the moment. They will go home having collected the 3 points against the Gunners. And suddenly Arsenal's bid for a top four spot, well, is in doubt once again. We have to bounce back. There'll be much reaction to this, much chat as well. And I'm sure that the Arsenal Nation gang have got plenty of it. Hand you back to the Emirates. Full time here. West Ham United 1, Arsenal 0.
Thanks, Dan and Chris. Of course, it wasn't a result that we wanted, and we were so close at the end there to at least levelling it. Lads, do we think that was a goal, or was it deservedly offside?
It's hard to say without having seen it again. My initial thoughts were it was probably offside, but I'm hearing that it's potentially something to do with the second phase of play, but I need to see it again. Yeah, a disappointing display all round, though, despite that.
So even if it was offside, wasn't offside, sorry, did we deserve anything more from the game than we got, Jeremy?
I don't think we've deserved to lose. I don't think there was much, both ways really. We both have shot on target, and they just obviously took advantage of one bad defending, one bad mistake, and that's how they scored their goal. But we had opportunities as well to score, so a fair result would have been a draw for me, but unfortunately, we lost.
Yeah, it was one of those games where we didn't take our chances. We didn't make many chances, but there were chances to be taken. We've got some tweets we're going to throw up, people's reactions to that game. So, nice finish from Rice, but how much room and time did Arsenal defence want to give him? Another tweet we're going to throw up as well. Terrible defending, just stood there and let Rice hit it. In terms of our season so far, there has been times where our defence has let us down. In terms of today, who do you think was the player that probably could have been switched on a little bit more to stop that Rice goal?
Well, I feel like Granit Xhaka's header should have been stronger to get it away in the first place. And at that point, when the ball was loose, I forget which player was nearest, but someone's got to step up and just make sure he can't get shot away that easily. It's just a little momentary lapse in concentration from too many players at once, effectively, and it's cost us.
Jeremy, apart from the goal, do you think we were more solid today than we have in previous games?
I don't think West Ham gave us, a lot of trouble and pushed really, really hard. So I would say we've been a bit better than normal, less in trouble, I would say, than normal. But at the same time, like I said, West Ham didn't really, done too much offensively in the final third to put us under pressure. So it's difficult to really judge.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about the change in strategy that came at half-time. We've got a tweet out here. No surprise we improved instantly with Ramsey on the pitch and the shift from 5 to 4 at the back. So lads, in terms of that shift, do you think we play better defensively having 5 at the back or 4 at the back? Which one gives you more confidence?
Defensively, I would say playing with 5, but I think there's certainly an argument that if that comes at the cost of us having sort of attacking fluency, then we need to think about that. And I just feel like the game was very, very disjointed today, and it was very difficult for Arsenal to make a mark as an attacking threat, even later on in the second half when we're sort of dominating the ball in West Ham's half. They didn't really have to work that hard to keep us away. So I think it's certainly something that has to be looked at.
Yeah, even when we look at the match stats, it's pretty much an even game. We've got the same amount of shots on target, shots and similar shots on target. Basically, they're one more than us is what kind of makes a difference, i.e. they scored that. In terms of the Arsenal lineup that you saw today, did you feel like they could have given a little bit more in terms of intensity, Jeremy?
Yeah, definitely, I feel. Obviously, we went 1-0 down, and I expected from that time to see a different desire to come back into the game and push more and throw more ball in the box, and we didn't see that really. I didn't see the desire to come back and to at least get a point. So yeah, it's disappointing.
So we're going to throw up another tweet all over social media, people talking about our defensive woes. So 3 clean sheets out of 22 speaks a lot, but we are still the Arsenal. It's still a work in progress. Would you agree with that tweet?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Emery's not been in the job for that long. Arsene Wenger was here for a very, very long time. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed and figured out, both in terms of Emery and how he approaches his squad and how the players adapt to his methods. So, it's not a crisis or anything. It's a disappointing result, but there's a long way to go and a lot of work to be done.
How big a miss is Rob Holding right now since his injury?
He does feel a surprisingly big miss, really. In that, it's just the depth it gives you. And if you're having defensive issues, then you need the options to change it up, and we're sort of lacking that a little at the moment.
So, Jeremy, in terms of defensively, do you think we could have maybe had a better result if we started with Torreira, or was it simply the whole of 11 could have worked better for us today?
No, I don't think Torreira would have made much difference, in this game. I just think it's an all-around performance. I'm just a bit concerned about the system 4 at the back, 5 at the back. I just feel there's too much.
You think there's inconsistency?
It's just
Well, as a player, would you rather beginning of the season, the manager's like, this is how we're going to play. And
exactly.
You stick with that
We Arsenal. We're not a bottom league club that try to match up every opponent that we're playing against. We should just, from day one, this is the system I want to play. This is what I believe in. With the player I've got, this is where he's better, and that's my starting 11. And I just feel we're still there, not really knowing. Changing system in the middle of the game, you should not really have to do that every game, and that's what we kind of see more and more. So that means it's a bit of a not really knowing what's going on, which is a bit.
Do you second that motion? Do you like the versatility that Emery's been shown, or would you rather a little bit more consistency?
Well, I like it every now and then, but if it needs to happen all the time, then obviously there's an issue in terms of still figuring out that system and figuring out how to get the best out of these players. So. I like a manager that's not afraid to make changes, but I do feel the fact that we're starting games so slowly is becoming a problem now that needs addressing far, quicker than that.
Well, we have some more tweets from your reaction online. So everyone who's ever watched the Pellegrini team knows he loves his defensive line right on the edge of the box. Those offsides were inexcusable. So many schoolboy errors that by the players, no need to stand offside, not a good performance. Actually, I want to stick with the offsides. Jeremy, as someone who obviously was a striker, how hard is it to stay onside in your mind in terms of, there's some players who are consistently offside. It's not a case of them being lax, but there must be some kind of thinking that's going through their mind.
Yeah, a player that is offside consistently like this, it's not right. It's not acceptable in my opinion. You should not be offside. If you're offside once a game because of a very tight one, but the offside we've seen today is like 2 yards offside. How can you be 2 yards offside? It's pretty much, I just can't really understand it. So it's obviously maybe a lack of solution as well from the player that has the ball, and just give it to someone that is clearly offside as well. I don't know, because if you've got 2-3 solution every time you has the ball, you're obviously not going to choose the one that you can clearly see is offside as well. So I'm a bit not too sure.
How frustrating is it for fans when we see these basic mistakes being made?
It's very frustrating, isn't it? Obviously, we appreciate that, being a professional footballer is hard and it's a complicated, fast game. But those two examples of the offsides it's frustrating because it slows the game down and it gives you a little reminder of exactly what isn't going right when you get the disappointment of a disallowed goal. So yeah, but the mistakes happen. Form dips and rises, so hopefully this will be a catalyst for another winning run, hopefully, because I think that's what the club need right now.
So in terms of form rising, obviously we're playing Chelsea this coming week. What do you expect to happen? It was good to see Bellerin back on the pitch for the Arsenal, finish the game on the high in terms of not injured. So going on to the next game, what are you looking forward to? What do you think we can improve on?
Well, by today's performance, we obviously can improve massively, and hopefully we'll see a much better team and a much better performance next week against Chelsea. But it's just, again, it's a bit of a who's going to play, what system we're going to play, and we still don't really know. And that's kind of more my concern, is the fact that, we're going to go to Chelsea and who's going to play, who's going to start? Is it going to be Lacazette, Aubameyang? Are they going to be, because no one scored today, is he going to trust them two again to play together? Is he going to play Torreira from the start? Are we going to play 4 at the back or 5? It's just all question all the time, which, I like to know. I like to go next week.
Well, there's
knowing,
a question that I want to know. Next week, is it better to go there and at least get a point, or do we need to win?
Well, I think most, certainly after the display today, I think a lot of people would take a point. But if we're serious about making a bid for the top 4, which we absolutely have to be, because otherwise why are we here, then they've got to go for the win. And I think to do that, they need to be far more intense just in every area of the pitch than they were today. But I feel like this will probably be a bit of a reminder that needs to be the case. So,
on a lighter note, of course, there could be a hidden reason for our loss today. We have this tweet which is alluding to it. You know what this Arsenal away kit says to me? Aqua. So, of course, a bit of Patras there. We can't blame the kit, but we have to say that we did want a better result. So, lads, are you still thinking that we can push on and maybe sneak into that top 4?
Yeah, you've got to believe.
Faith from Jeremy, I like that. And then...
Yeah, it's looking tough, but there's a lot of football to go, so it's not impossible.
Not impossible. So, lads, can you give me one word to sum up today's performance? Each.
Disappointed.
Disappointed?
Yeah, quiet.
Disappointed and quiet, but hopefully we'll be back next week for Arsenal Nation Live, and I'm hoping the lads will put on a stronger performance and get the 3 points that we all want. Thanks for watching. Make sure you join us again. See you again.